Hi everyone, I'm Jackie from Adam Heart Cross Stitch and welcome to my Flosstube channel. Happy September 1st, this is episode 9. In the spirit of all things fall and autumn, here in Southern California, this is like the first cool day we've had in quite a while. We had a massive heat wave last week and today it's like finally like really nice and cool. It's definitely giving fall. Both my kids are back in school, which I love having them around for the summer, but it's been really nice just starting to get back into like a normal routine. And let's be honest, having the house to myself on most days. But it also means a lot more driving around, a lot of after school activities, and things just kind of get busier as well. All that being said, as I was preparing for this episode, initially I didn't think I was gonna have a whole lot to talk about. A lot of times with my Flosstube episodes, I kind of give all of my stitching slash crafting slash crochet updates in the, first 3/4 of the episode. And at the end, I talk about anything related to my small business, Adam Heart Cross Stitch. And I really don't have any business updates for this month's episode. And I didn't think I was gonna have a lot of like crafty stuff to talk about. But I have 2 fully finished objects to share with you all today, one of which was also a new start. I have another new start, and then I have 2 whips that I was working on. So, patting myself on the back a little bit, I still feel like I am not cross-stitching quite as much as I'm accustomed to. The last few months have just been trying. I've definitely lost a bit of my stitchy bug. I've been dealing with some like major fatigue and burnout, but I do feel like I'm like slowly starting to round a corner and definitely worked on a lot more this past month than what I have been doing for the past 6 months. So I'm excited to share everything with y'all. So let's start with the fully finished objects. I talked about this granny square office chair project probably back in June, I want to say. And I kept promising each month that I was going to have it finished and would show you all the finished product. Granny squares themselves, like they work up really fast. I use all scrap yarn, so it's like a great scrap buster project, especially if you're doing, what is it? Stash Bust September? I can't remember what people call it, but if you're doing something like that where you're using like all of your stash yarn and not buying any new yarn for the month of September, this is like a perfect project. So the granny squares themselves work up really quickly, and then I just had to like weave in the ends and put them together, and I just spent months not doing it, but I finally did it. This is the end result. Again, I just think it's super cute. I saw this from a different user on TikTok and Instagram who posted this originally. Her handle's Realm Designs. Her page is like actually pretty incredible, so I do recommend checking it out. Like just lots of really fun crochet projects, really like bright and colorful vibes. So I just like really happy I stumbled across this video and kind of found her. Yeah, it's a really like simple, easy project. I am not a, advanced crocheter by any means. There's no pattern for this. You just kind of make granny squares to the size you think you need, attach them together, and you've got like a little slip cover. So very happy to finally have that done. And I like love how it's just this like really fun burst of color in my office. So definitely recommend doing that if you're interested in it. And then I have another fully finished project. I don't know what we say. But here's this little guy. It's just a striped little heart with a happy face, very basic. I actually designed this pattern, if you can even call it that. I feel like it's just such a simple cross stitch. But the intention for this is I'm going to be filming a whole, beginner cross stitch video series. I will be posting it here on YouTube, and I'll definitely be posting like snippets on TikTok and Instagram. But really what's driving this is working with a streaming company called Made It Myself TV. They basically like pull together curated crafting content, and that's what the whole channel like is dedicated to. So I met with them a few months back, and it's just been a really busy summer, but I'm finally gonna be sitting down and filming like a whole introduction to cross stitch series. And basically we'll be making this little project start to finish. I've done a beginner cross stitch series before on my TikTok channel, and for that I used a pattern from DMC reached out to them, got their permission to be able to like actually show the pattern on the videos, because I think that's a big part in teaching someone how to cross stitch and someone learning how to cross stitch is like really, you know, reading the pattern. And typically because of copyright, you can't show the pattern online, which makes perfect sense. But this time around, I thought it would just be really nice to design a really simple cross stitch pattern. There's no back stitching, there's no half stitches, quarter stitches, it's just full cross stitches. It's really quick and easy to complete, and the colors could also be customized to whatever colors someone wanted to use. So this was my little pattern tester. The pattern itself is free. I'll include a link below. Essentially though, it's a free download if you want it, and then I just have links to all the different supplies that one would need. So if you have anything that you wish someone would have told you when you first started learning how to cross stitch, please feel free to leave a comment on this video. I will do my best to try and incorporate all of that useful information into the video series so that, you know, we can help someone else who's just starting out and learning how to cross stitch. And yeah, so this one was my new start and an FFO for the month of August. And I think I'm blocking him on my shelves, but he looks like super cute up there. And, you know, obviously it's September. In the social media world, unfortunately, because it's not really my favorite thing, but really I feel like when August starts, like it is the start of Halloween season and everyone starts posting all their Halloween crafts. On the one hand, it makes sense because when you do something like cross stitch, you know, or crochet, something that takes a long time, you have to start months ahead of the season to have it finished for that season. So yes, it makes sense. And as much as I love the fall, it's hands down my favorite season. I'm still like wanting to enjoy summer a little bit. We had a really cold June and kind of July here too in California. It kind of feels like we just started getting hot weather and like getting our heat waves. So I'm still like kind of in summer mode. So I tend to just notice a lot like come August, even though it still feels like very much like summer, everyone's pushing the like Halloween and fall content. Truth be told, it's not my favorite thing in the world. I really try to focus on just kind of living in the moment, even though I too really love fall and I'm really looking forward to it. All that being said, every year as this happens, I'm like, ugh, I really like need to work on seasonal content and like seasonal craft content. And I always let it pass me by. Like I never get to it. Christmas comes and goes and I'm like, oh, I like didn't work on the gingerbread village I planned to do, you know, whatever it is. This year I've been very disciplined. When August hit, I made myself purchase a Halloween craft to do. And I went with a plastic canvas project. So this is from Mary Maxim. It's a full kit. You can buy it from Mary Maxim's website or you can buy it from Amazon. I have a link to the kit on Amazon that I'll leave below. It's like super cute. I love making like plastic canvas dollhouses. But the really nice thing with these tissue box covers is they've kind of got that, you know, dollhouse feel, but it doesn't take as much time and it's like really functional. Where I live, we get Santa Ana winds when fall season rolls around. So it actually ends up being a very hot, dry, and windy season, which for me means lots of allergies. So, you know, you can't have enough tissues in the house. So this is like perfect. And I haven't put it together yet, but I've got all of the side panels done. Like, how cute are these ghosts? This little ghost coming out of the window is one of my favorites. And then these are little bats. We've also got some spider webs on there. Like how cute are these shutters, right? And I think this is the last panel I didn't show. So I've got all 4 sides of the house done. And that's definitely like, this was the most stitching of any of it. And I've got my roof panels done. So these will join like that. And then there will be a chimney that comes up the top. And yeah, and the rest of the pieces, I've got all this fencing, the base, everything's cut, which is the biggest pain in the butt of the whole thing. But all the pieces are cut out. These detail pieces, It's just a little bit of a pain, but I really buckled down yesterday and got all of the pieces cut. So the rest of this will actually come together pretty quickly now. So I hate saying this because I'm going to jinx myself, but I'm sure I will have another fully finished object to share with you next month because this should be done by then. Should be. This is 7-count plastic canvas. It uses worsted weight yarn. The kit came with all of the plastic canvas. It came with the yarn, the pattern book, cutting guide, and it came with the size 16 tapestry needle. So that was nice. There, the finished project is one more time. Really cute. These are generally beginner friendly. I will say this one, you know, some of those pieces were pretty detailed to cut out. So it's, you know, maybe one step above beginner. But I think these plastic canvas tissue boxes are like a great introduction to plastic canvas if you've never worked with it before. Especially if you're thinking you want to do a dollhouse. This is like a great just kind of test project to see if you even like doing it. So that's it for my finishes and my new starts. And then I've got 2 whips to share with y'all. So first up, sadly, you'll see she's rolled up, which means I have put her away for now. Makes me sad too, but I just can't put down my other project. So this one, I shared this last month as well. This is, oh, all the threads are in the way. There we go. So this is Topaz by Scarlet Quince. I'm using all of the called for DMC. This is 2 strands of floss over 2 squares on 32 count Joblin. I can't recall if it's white or antique white, to be honest. Yeah, and I really didn't work on this much since last month. I did have it out for a bit and maybe put in a few stitches here or there. Like I said in the beginning of the episode, like I'm definitely not stitching as much as I'm accustomed to, but really have been starting to do more and more kind of each week. I had this out for the first half of August, worked on it a little bit. One thing I do want to show, because I don't think I've shown it the last time I talked about this project, but I wanted to show you all how I have my floss organized for this. Is a lot of floss. This whole project is blended threads. So I've got 3 big floss rings. And what I did for this, you know, because of the blended threads, there are some colors that repeat multiple times. A lot of times what folks will do is they'll take like 1 skein or a skein and a half and then just kind of like divide it into 3. I didn't want to try and do that math and figure it out that way. So I went the non-cost effective but time effective route, which is I just bought multiple skeins. So if like if one floss color repeated 3 times, I just bought 3 skeins, even though I probably won't need all 3 skeins. And I did that because I'm always okay having floss left over at the end. It's just going to go into my stash. So it costs more upfront, obviously. I'm in the US, so, you know, we do get pretty good deals on floss. I remember when I bought this, it was when Joann's was having their, you know, floss doorbuster. And I got a great deal on all this. And then I used my Cricut to make these custom floss drops. So I was able to include SQ for Scarlet Quince and then the chart name Topaz, and then each, you know, DMC is labeled in its own little hole. And so this way, when I finish at the end, I will know exactly, you know, which floss number is which. And then of course I've got this little, you know, oblong bit here. If I have any, like, if I wanted to pre-blend a bunch of these, I could put them off to the side, or if I have any leftover bits that I want to save, I just put them off to the side there too. A lot of floss. And I'm not too fancy with my storage. I love floss drops. I love keeping them on rings like this. And then I just keep everything organized by project, and I just use Ziploc bags. So I'll just keep all my floss, you know, tucked away like that with the bag labels, even though that's kind of coming off. And then my fabrics I'll keep just kind of rolled up, and I'm now starting to keep these in an like airtight bag as well. Before I would just roll them up and put them in a pillowcase, but I've had some issues with carpet beetles recently, so I'm now being very meticulous about keeping all of my cross-stitch fabrics tucked away and safe. These floss drops that I made, I had posted a video about them, you know, years ago when I started this project. Yeah, it's been years. And a lot of you were interested in being able to buy something similar, and so that's actually where my thread blends were inspired from, and those are floss drops that I sell on my website, Adam Hart Cross Stitch. So yeah, I don't think I showed these last time, so I thought it'd be nice to start showing y'all how I'm storing my floss for all of my projects, because that's really my favorite part, is like prepping all the floss for a new project. All right, and then my final whip for last month. A lot of you know I've been working on Floral Dream by Nora Corbett. I have to apologize in advance. Look how messed up my pattern has gotten. I traveled with this twice, once in July and then again in August, and it just got pretty thrashed, and I feel really bad about it. I think I'm gonna go and like buy another one just so I have like a really nice clean copy. But this is my progress on her so far. So I am using all of the called for DMC, the Karen Water Lilies, and I'll be using all of the called for Mill Hill beads, although I don't have any beads on here yet. And I'm stitching this 2/2 on 32 count Earthen Lugana by Picture This Plus. This is my first time stitching on Lugana, and it is 100% my favorite fabric to stitch on right now. The Topaz cross stitch, like I said, I'm stitching on 32 count Joblin, and I feel like the Joblin's like not softer, but it's like almost a bit silkier, which feels really nice, but I also feel like my threads just kind of slip a little bit more. And I just really like this Lugana. It's really soft. It's not like hard or starchy by any means, but I feel like it's just, like my threads just like stay in place a little bit better. I don't know how to explain it, but this is definitely what I will be choosing to work on moving forward whenever I can get it, is Lugana. I am a big fan. And some of you may also remember from last month, I had a very hard time picking out a fabric for this cross stitch. I love the look of the natural khaki that the model is stitched on, but I felt like I just wanted something with a little bit more like color or oomph or like something. So yeah, very hard time deciding what fabric to stitch on. And when I started stitching on this, I initially like didn't know if I loved it or not. But after putting in like these yellows for the blanket, I'm obsessed. It works so well. I'm so relieved. I'm so happy. So this was kind of like my travel project for the summer. I didn't really think I would work on it too much once I got home, but I just have loved working on it so much I really haven't been able to put it away. So it's just a really fun stitch, and like I said, all of my concerns about the color of this fabric, they are gone. I am loving how this is turning out. I'm so happy with it. So yeah, this is 32 count Earthen Lugana by Picture This Plus. That's about it. This guy kept meowing at the door, so now he's stuck making a cameo that he probably didn't want to. Just sweetie pie though. This cat, by the way, is so funny. All of these like threads and floss on the table right now, he could care less about. What he loves are Ziploc bags. He like loves rubbing his face against the corner of the Ziploc bags. It's just so very comical to me. Okay, so like I said, for Adam Hart Cross Stitch, not a whole lot of small business updates. I will say I've been playing around with some t-shirt designs. I used to have t-shirts in my shop a long time ago. They were nothing too special. It was just like my old logo at the time. But I've had, you know, some things in my mind of the kind of t-shirts I would like to have. Oh my God, Bobo. I have ordered 2 different t-shirt samples, so I will show those next month. I actually might even have them up and available in the shop by the time I film my next Flosstube episode, but I'm very excited to share those, and I think that's really only potential new stuff in the works for the small business. Maybe some other things, but I can't talk about them yet. Thank you all so much for watching. Please leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed this episode. Happy month of September. I'm Jackie. This is Mr. Bojangles. We are glad you could join us.